We're here with Lizette Salas, who's our clubhouse leader with a 5 under 67, a nice bogey-free day. You made it look easy out there. What are your thoughts as you look back on your round?
It was definitely not easy. We started with pretty wet conditions this morning, but the greens were rolling extremely pure. I had a really good warm-up. I was really confident coming into this week, and I think my game really suits this golf course, and kept it boring. That's pretty much the game plan. Fairways and greens, and rolled in a few good putts, left to righters, sliders, which I think really gets my confidence going, and I continue that momentum throughout the round. And a little scary little slide on the last hole to keep it bogey free, but I'm really pleased with my round today.
What about this course you think fits your game?
Well, I think right now I'm so visual, and I'm really confident in my pre-shot routine and knowing my ball flight and how to capitalize on these holes. So I'm staying committed to each shot, and even when it's not as pure as I want it to, I'm missing in the right spots, and I'm able to, get up and down for par.
Awesome. We'll open it up for questions. We'll start with Beth Ann.
Yeah, your game, hello. Your game has been trending in a good direction these last few weeks. What's working well? What's shifting?
Well, at the beginning of this year, we started with a goal, with a plan, and sometimes that plan, it kind of gets worse before it gets better. And probably right before Pure Silk, I really analyzed my game and really talked with my coach and my trainer and what we really need to do, because we're running out of events, and that Solheim Cup's right around the corner. So I know these courses are tough, and I believe that I could play well in these big events, contend, and I think that's more so the shift in everything, is that self-confidence, and I'm not afraid to be out here anymore. It's fun. John's been doing a great job. He was on my bag in 2013-14, and just really enjoying the process. And even though some days aren't as nice as others, it's you can always learn from it and bounce back.
When were you afraid?
When was I afraid? Probably all of 2020. That was a really tough year for me. And it was probably one of the lowest points in my career mentally, but I am so lucky to have a strong backbone and team to tell me when I'm just to be there for me. But I think we're on a upward trend, and golf is a lot more fun right now, and we're just looking forward to that Solheim Cup in a few months. And I think that's what really got the fire in me, and saying I need to be on that team, or I want to be on that team. So that's kind of the game plan right now.
Over here to Amy.
Lizette, we've heard you mention the Solheim Cup already a couple times. Even though we're here at a major championship, is the Solheim Cup a bigger focus for you this week?
Yes and no. The Solheim Cup's always a goal, the big time goal, but in order to achieve that, you have to play well in majors. And I think I started off on a good note today. And, just know that the goal is there, but at the same time, there's little goals that you have to achieve in order to get there. So I think we're right on course. And as long as I just continue doing my process and believing in myself, it's in reach.
Just a quick follow-up. What do you think it is that you bring to the Solheim Cup team?
Well, it will be my 5th consecutive. I think experience I could bring a lot of experience. I think I'm a solid team player. I could, get along with just about everybody, and I could play with just about everybody. So I think, and I hope Captain Hurst knows that. We've been on the same team for now 3 Solheim Cups now, so I think she does. But at the same time, there's a lot of other American players that are playing solid, and maybe her tactic isn't as same as Captain Julie Inkster. and you just don't know. But I can only control what I can, which is my process and my self-talk.
To Karen.
Lizette, hello. Perhaps this is an obvious question, but what made 2020 so difficult for you? Was it the pandemic? Was it the stopping and restarting? Was there something else going on?
There's to not get in a lot of detail. It was a combination of things. I really didn't like myself in 2020, and I think with the whole COVID and not being able to work and have golf as my outlet, that really hit hard. And as much as I love my family and loved being around them, it was tough.
Yeah.
I think I homeschooled my nephew for about 2 months, and I said, no more, please. But I understand that everyone had to go through something. And it was hard for me to even speak about it, just because I felt like other people are going through the same thing. Why do I need to feel sorry for myself? But over time, it accumulated and it got worse. And when I finally got out here, it was so bad that the golf couldn't help.
Got it.
But we've turned over a new leaf, and we're just happy I'm happy where I am right now, and I'm looking forward to the next 3 days.
What grade was your nephew
He is in second grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was it a matter of you see yourself as a golfer, so then when golf was taken away, you didn't know who you were during the time off, or?
A little bit like that. It was, I guess the identity of me being a pro golfer and not really living that lifestyle. But it was accumulation of a lot of other things, and I had to rely on some people, and they were there for me, and it takes time, and I had to take care of my mental health, and that's something that a lot of people don't really take into consideration. And I think for me, coming from a Hispanic background, it's very hard to talk about that. But I'm very fortunate to have a team that was willing to bend over backwards to help me and to get me to where I am right now.
Down here to Steve.
You spoke about your process. Where are you in that process of loving Lizette again? And how do you feel now?
I feel great. I feel more like myself. I feel I'm not, like I said earlier, I'm not really intimidated by anything anymore, and I'm enjoying the process. I think before it was it felt like work, and it never did. And I'm better at communicating how I'm feeling, and which was very hard. Even as a 31-year-old veteran out here, it's very hard for me to kind of communicate how I'm feeling, and sometimes my team has to get it out of me, and I'm just allowing myself to be in that vulnerable place and asking for help, and just smiling a lot more, and my family's always been there for me, and I have a great team, so it's been a really big team effort.
Good. Shane, then Doug.
A lot of people, when they go through these mental health crises, it can be kind of unpredictable when the clouds lift, or why sometimes even. Do you have a moment where you can think of where you started to see a little daylight, or was it kind of a gradual thing? I'm curious if there's like a moment you can pinpoint.
I think probably Pure Silk was the light. I started seeing a little bit more light, and it actually was getting darker before it got lighter. Mm-hmm. And just being in that at Kingsmill, where I had a lot of great memories. John was on the bag again. I had a new putter. I had some new toys, and I was playing the golf I know how, and that really just lit a spark in me. And I started reading books because I had a hard time falling asleep. and put the phone away and really just slowed everything down. And I was able to finally decompress and let go of whatever was going on and up in my brain. And I was finally able to relax and just play the golf I know how.
As you look back through that, do you, even though I'm sure you didn't feel strong at the time, do you see a sort of thread of strength that helped you get through some of those lowest moments to kind of be where you are now?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, my parents have always been very confident and very supportive, and my team as well. I think I have a really cocky team, which is really helpful, and and it's. I also realize like when I can ask for help, and when is it okay to be vulnerable and uncomfortable, and I just understand myself more. And I'm at a point where I like myself again, even when days aren't as good as others. It's been quite a roller coaster of emotions, but here I am, and I'm playing much better, and just happy to be here.
Doug?
One of my really dumb questions, but since I don't have your results in front of me, I'm just curious, when was your last interview?
No, it's been, I don't know, Vegas?
Not too bad, okay.
We would have talked to you last week. You played well last week.
Oh, yeah, last week.
Okay.
Last week, the week before, the week before that.
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Why, am I bad right now?
You got your spark back.
Oh, yeah. I was like, am I not answering these questions well?
This is great.
I had two things came to mind, Lizette. Much earlier in this interview, when you mentioned a change in plan for the year, were you talking about your wholeness, or was there actual a golf swing thing that you were looking at change?
I think a little bit of both. I think, you know, my coach we're working on a lot of posture, a lot of fundamentals, and which are allowing me to maximize my strength and to finally get some distance. And I got a new putter maybe 2 months ago, and it's really just, I don't want to jinx it, but it's made the hole a little bit bigger,
Your new toy.
Which is nice. Yeah, new toy. And, you know, just trusting in my team. That's really been a whole not challenge, but the whole goal is to trust and to believe in myself, and to know that there's still a lot of good golf that I can play.
And then one other thing that made me think, when you guys got back to golf, was your expectation of how it would be? Did you have kind of relief that we're back to golf, and was it disappointing that it wasn't what you thought it would be?
You know, there was a lot of emotions. There was excitement. There was anxiety. There was disappointment. There was a lot.
Which emotion were you anticipating before you got there?
I think I had a lot of anxiety before I got out there. And I thought the anxiety was more nerves. But by the time we went back out there, I was just not in the right mindset. I felt like I pressured myself into, let's try to play catch up. You know, things in LA were really bad. You know, I wasn't able to play for a long time, and then when I saw that I wasn't getting the results I wanted, it ate me up. It was really bad, but also I wouldn't ask for help. I was very stubborn, and instead of asking, I pretty much shut people out, and that was not the right way to do it, and I acknowledged that. And, you know, I'm a different person now, and you know, I think my team is proud of me, and I hope I can just continue this positive process.
You mentioned the cloud lifting at Pure Seal. Was that the turning point also, or was there a previous turning point, do you think?
I think that was the turning point.
Okay.
You know, just stepping into that event, and a lot of positivity going into that.
Vulnerability as a strength. Every time someone like you comes out and talks about it, do you think it makes it easier? Like, are you able to talk about this because Matthew Wolff has talked about it, and Naomi's talked about it, and Michael Phelps has talked about it?
You know, I wanted to talk about this in the beginning of the year, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't. I wanted to share my story and my process when I was confident enough to share. And I guess the time is now to talk about it, and it's okay. And everyone has their own timeline of sharing what they've gone through. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous even talking about it now, but it's okay. And I'm in a much better place, and I'm just happy to be here.
Beth Ann, and then we'll end with Juan.
When you talk about your team, who is that? Who all do you consider your team? And then did a move to Texas? I understand you have a place in Texas now. Did that help?
Yeah. So that was another part of trying to get myself back to where I wanted to be, and I was trying a new team out in Dallas, and it kind of backfired. So I went back to my team in LA. My coach Jim Gormley, my trainer Josh Loyo, and JS with Epic Sports. It's just we've all been in communication a lot more than previous years because I needed that, and they checked me when I need to be checked, and vice versa. So it's been, I think, opening up to them and allowing them to understand what I was going through on a more personal level rather than just golf. I think it really allowed all of us to just be more in sync and to really now brainstorm what I need from them, possibly and even now outside the golf course. So they've stepped it up, and they're used to me in tears a few times, but that's what being a team is all about, and I consider them family. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
So oh, sorry. No, I interrupted.
So last one in English, and then we go to Spanish, so they won't understand anything.
Okay.
So how good does it feel to be your own self now again after all this process, to not have filters? And is it the old Lizette, or is it the new Lizette, or a combination of both?
It's I think it's a combination. I think it's a combination of the old Lizette with a new mentality, a new love for myself, a new appreciation for the people around me, and it's just been it's been a rocky road, but I'm finally seeing the results that I want, and my team is very happy for me, and also my family too. And it's been it's been hard for them too, and sometimes they don't even know what to say, and it's been hard for everybody. But we've come together. As we say at USC, we're fighting on. So.
Bueno, y entonces en español ya estás hablando de tu familia,
sí,
y un poco de lo difícil que ha sido para todos, ¿no? Y un poco el miedo que todos han tenido de este proceso. Un día como hoy, ¿qué le dices a ellos y qué te dices a ti misma, ¿no? O sea,
pues un día como estos se dice que pues todo pasa por una razón. Lo bueno, si sigues trabajando duro, si sigues hablando con tu equipo, teniendo esa confianza y tener fe. Eso es lo más importante, y yo creo que yo estoy muy orgullosa de mí misma. Eso sí también, y nomás tengo que... I don't know how to describe it.
Uh-huh.
Todo es un proceso. Y eso entiendo que unos días son más difíciles que otros, pero teniendo gente que me quiere, que me conoce y que no me juzga tampoco, es muy importante, y de estar aquí en KPMG pues es un honor y un privilegio.
¿Te das cuenta? Es un poco un ejemplo, y lo hablamos muchas veces, las niñas latinas que están empezando y que tienen sus problemas, sus cosas. ¿Qué consejo le das a partir de tu experiencia, ¿no? De lo que estás viviendo, ¿no?
Bueno, para las niñas latinas, pues que sigan adelante, y que aunque otras personas no entienden en por qué jugamos este deporte, y que a lo mejor dicen que no es parte de nuestra cultura, pues para mí eso fue más motivación, ¿no? De ver una mujer latina con esa sangre mexicana o de Latinoamérica. Es algo muy bonito y yo creo que traemos algo diferente a este deporte, más pasión, más emoción. Es algo muy bonito y lo vimos con Lorena. Y eso me ayudó muchísimo a seguir luchando y amando ese deporte. Y estamos viendo con muchachas de México, pues de todos lados, hay muchas. Entonces, de estar aquí, aunque yo nací aquí, pero tengo esa sangre mexicana, estoy muy orgullosa.
Oye, la última, hablando de golf ahora.
Sí.
Lo mejor de la ronda de hoy, ¿qué es lo que más has disfrutado?
Lo mejor de la ronda, yo creo que fue el pot. No sé, estoy viendo mis líneas bien, la velocidad de los greens, estoy poteando muy bien y también el drive. No creo que fallé un fairway, a lo mejor uno, pero ahí está el juego y nomás de seguir haciendo mi proceso y sonriendo más.
¿Cuál era el pajarito mejor hoy día?
Wow.
En inglés, por favor.
I saw him nodding. I was like, I think he knows what I'm talking about.
I knew he was going to do this.
Yeah. Mi birdie más...
En inglés, por favor.
No, se dice birdie en español.
Se dice birdie.
I did.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
But I'm asking for your answer in English, if you don't mind.
Oh, you want me to answer in English? Oh, okay. Well, my favorite birdie of the day was probably, I think it was 4, the par 3. It was funny because my caddy said we'd rather miss it right, and when my playing partner missed it left, it was a much easier putt than what I had. But then I ended up making mine, so it kind of worked out the way he wanted it, even though the other side was a little easier putt. It was kind of into the grain, and then it released a little bit and right to left, maybe about a 30-footer.
30, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that was a good one.
Gracias.
What books do you read, or what kind of books? You said you were reading books
Oh,
now.
I was like, I don't read Green's books.
You said you were reading books now.
Yeah,
so.
no. So I started reading this book called I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. Started reading that, and I thought it was like a biography of myself. And I started reading, there's this Frida Kahlo book that talks about how her mentality can go into like modern day issues about loving yourself, self-confidence, and when you look back at her history, she did things her way and enjoyed her own process. And so I just been highlighting a few things here and there, and it really and it puts me to sleep. So it's a win-win.
Awesome. Thanks, Lizette. This
Thank
is great.
you.
Loved
Thanks.
it.
Pajarito is really not a word?
No.